Of September 2020. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Welcome to your most authoritative, credible, and informative newspaper review segment here in Ghana and in Africa. This is Good Morning Africa, and I am Kwame Owusu Danso. I want to thank the 6 a.m. news for bringing us the 6 a.m. News team for bringing us the news this morning. I'm super excited, so forgive me. I mean, I'm just putting words together. There's so many things in my mind that I need to bring out, and so I'm getting a bit things are just all over the place, clustered in my mind. Yeah, it's fine, it's okay. Right, so today we're going to be discussing, as usual, an African story which says violence and anti-racism protest draws condemnation in South Africa. A Japan deal, the shocking details and why it's bad for Ghana. The Inside Nwespaper. Disband vigilante groups, Peace Council urges political parties. Daily Graphic. Oh, now they found their voices. Fantastic, I love that. 2020 Manifesto war. MPP accuses NDC of copy. Oh, copy. And 2020 elections again about track records. Baumia Mahama concur. The Informal newspaper reported this particular story. So now it's going to be about a battle between the big giants in respect of what they have or haven't done with the 4-year mandate that they were given, to govern this nation and to lead and superintend over the events and the activities for the forward march of this nation. Who has done what? Who has performed better than the other? Who has performed creditably well? Who has performed excellently well? These are the issues that we are going to be touching on this morning. And I'm sure that you've had the privilege of going through both manifestos and you have arrived at somewhat a concrete decision as to who is going to win your thumb this December. It is very crucial. It's very, very crucial. And I think that for once, reading several commentaries on social media, I've come to the realization that Ghanaians have now begun to ask the burning questions that are incidental to the decision that they will make in any election going forward. And it is consequent upon that people are going to elect a particular leader to govern them. We listened to the MPP when they were in opposition. The myriad, plethora, the mountain, the ocean of promises that they made to the good people of Ghana. It's as though they were going to marry some girl and they needed to, try and sugarcoat the West in order to woo this beautiful girl. And after wooing the girl and sending the girl to their home, they were confronted with some, nerve-wracking, if you will, issues. And they needed to address them with immediacy. Were they able to address those issues with immediacy? Have they been able to meet all the promises and the policies that they churned out, that they trumpeted so vociferously and so passionately? Have they been able to do all of the things that they said they were going to do for the good people of Ghana? Indeed, accountability is crucial, and we must ensure that we squeeze accountability from the necks of political elites, the political elites that who are seeking to lead us. It's very, very crucial. So we'll be asking all of these questions here and more, and I think your guests are as good as mine. You can share with us what your thoughts are via our WhatsApp number 026-084-6539. Let me reiterate again that undoubtedly this is the most authoritative morning show ever in Africa. We speak the truth, we say it as it is, without mince words, without fear or favor. We tell the public what they need to hear, because we do know that now the media space is characterized by partisanship and parochiality, or if you will, parochialism, and so people are denied of their cognitive appreciation of things. They are deliberately, they've deliberately decided to be oblivious about the realities that confronts the good people of this nation, about the sufferings of the people and the marginalized in society. But we don't. We speak the truth, we tell it as it is, and we make sure that we glean some workable answers from the powers that be. We're going to do just that this morning. I'm very excited to have in the studios with me Alhaji Dr. Abubakar Marzouk, who is our own internal governance and political expert. He's also a lecturer at the University of Applied Management. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And thank you very kindly for joining us today. It has been a while. I think last week you were not here.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, last week you were all the way in Boko.
Sure.
You were Bokolizing.
Sure. And it was so sweet.
Ah,
yes.
Sweet like what?
Yeah.
Like Alugun to be. Okay, so it's not a one-on-one. We are expecting Dr. Rashid Popo to join us. We're expecting the representative from the MPP as well to join us. So it's not a one-on-one. But we need to kickstart the conversation so that we can have ample time to discuss all the issues that we've raised. Now, I think it's important to kickstart the conversation with the African story. And it appears that, South Africa is not out of the woods yet. They are still lurking in the dark, praying for some light to shine upon them. They are navigating on waters that they've never charted before. Well, they've charted before, but have not still been able to, sail ashore. And it appears that the issue about racism, the issue about marginalization, the issue about land has played a central focal role in the political dispensation in South Africa, particularly because about 80% of the lands in South Africa are owned by the white minority, and the black majority have been pushed to the back burner. Now, this has occasioned some, demonstrations, series of demonstrations. Now, this demonstration it's not just starting today. It's been perennial. It backdates into history. The fact that they continuously, without success, try to demonstrate and articulate their concerns through demonstration to the powers that be, that look, listen, it's about time for us to begin to look at this race issue, land issue, and the inequitable distribution of our resources and things like that. So, violence in anti-racism protests draws condemnation in South Africa. Why must we continue to violently either attack the oppressors or the oppressed? The oppressed? Oppressed, yes. The oppressor or the oppressed. Yeah.
Right. Good morning to the cherished viewers of ours, and thanks for the opportunity. Special good morning to the people of Nantong. And special gratitude to the people of Boku. But I was accorded one of the best receptions in my life.
I see.
And I take this opportunity to thank personalities such as Mr. Combat of Combat Pharmacy, Mr. Azimbe, Chief Ahmed Dansali, Ustaz Sharif, and then a lot of people. And then my elder brother, Alaji Sumani. We had a very wonderful program. It was in honor of our daughter who was getting wedded. The program went on successfully. We ate everything. The guinea fowl, everything in the north. In fact, north is sweet.
Guinea fowl. So you ate Tiozafi?
Tiozafi, everything.
This one they pay you. You know, I only eat Tiozafi when I visit two people.
Sure.
When I visit Honorable Dr. Robert Kugat-Nablem,
sure,
MP for Binduri. When I go there,
coincidentally, he was in Boku, but we didn't meet.
You didn't meet, okay,
yeah.
I see. But whenever I'm in Tamale, you know, they have the biggest restaurant in Tamale.
Sure.
You know, so whenever I'm in Tamale, I go there and then I enjoy the beautiful delicacy. You know, the Tiozafi.
Yes. Sure. Fantastic.
I'm actually salivating now. Yeah. And then Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu.
Sure.
His wife.
But let me tell you something.
His wife does the best Tiozafi.
Sure.
I'm telling you.
Let me tell you something secret about you. If you go to Boku,
yes, sir,
I can assure you of one thing.
Yes.
You'll be swollen by the people.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that makes me happy.
You will be. When I say you, I'm not saying you'll be swallowed. You'll be swollen.
Swollen?
Yes.
I see.
Not swallowed.
I know.
They won't swallow you.
Yes.
But they'll make sure at the end of the day, you become swollen.
Well, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
Saka Saleh, I'm watching on Facebook.
Sure.
Good morning to you, Saka. And you know, hopefully you join in the conversation with your views. I would very much like that. Please.
All right. Yes. As you all agree with me, what is happening is the continuation of the legacy of apartheid. And it is clear that apartheid remains a man-made tragedy of unspeakable proportion. If you consider the time period, the period within which apartheid existed, definitely we should not think that we will overcome it just in a matter of time, in a matter of few days or months or few periods. Yeah. So we will continue to have instances of apartheid, instances of the demonstration of the legacy of apartheid in South Africa. And that will also continue to trigger and to expose the weaknesses in the governance of Africa. If you look at this topic, two things are mentioned: violence and racism.
Absolutely.
Semantically, both of them are synonyms. But both of them are synonyms. The first violence could be the physical violence that you and I will engage in. And the second violence is even worse than the first violence. That is psychological violence. It is perpetrated without arms, and the agony is perpetual. So psychological violence versus physical violence.
Okay.
Both of them are condemnable. The physical violence is perpetrated by the victim of the psychological violence. And it is clear for us to make it to the people to understand well that both of them should not be entertained. Both of them should not be entertained. Racism is not just a crime against humanity, it is also a crime against divinity. But racism is nothing but a culture of the animal kingdom, where anaconda moves with anaconda, jaguar with jaguar, monkey with monkey, tiger with tiger. It is only in the animal kingdom that there is no productive interaction between one race of the animal and another race of the animal kingdom. And therefore, to allow such a negative animalistic culture in human society is unfortunate. Racism will continue to show its ugly face. But in the interest of fairness, victims of racism are also expected to act within the confines of the law.
Absolutely.
it is clear that during the apartheid, the blacks had no legal solution. They had no opportunity to resort to the law to seek any form of redress. But now, South Africa is a democratic republic, a pluralistic democratic republic. And the victims can no longer hide behind the absence of legal protection. The victims have every right, as citizens of South Africa, to resort to the court of law and not to the court of public opinion. Again, let AU understand that the apartheid is still in existence in multiple forms. In fact, if I am permitted, I will describe what is happening now as a diplomatic apartheid of the 21st century. It exists, but in a very diplomatic fashion. And therefore, for the black people to ensure their dignity in pursuit of their right, they must also appear to be law-abiding, so that they do not lose the public and international sympathy with them. If they conduct themselves in a manner that depicts another scene of the animal kingdom, definitely they will lose the support of the right-thinking people on earth. AU must ensure that such negative legacies of apartheid are prevented. It is the business of AU, because South Africa does not live in isolation. It exists within the Committee of Civilized Nations on the continent of Africa, and it has relations with other nations. So even in international governance, South Africa occupies a very important stage, very important page. And therefore, it is up to the AU to help South Africa to ensure that justice at all times prevails. Then beyond the AU, let the international order, the controllers of the international order, and I'm referring to the United Nations, take it as a matter of concern.
Okay.
United Nations should ensure that the legacy of apartheid in South Africa is brought to an end. The South African government is made to be responsible, that the people of South Africa are accorded the needed justice, that human rights, democratic constitutionalism, and democratic freedoms become the ultimate values and the rights of the common people of South Africa. Thank you.
Gracias to you, Dr. Marzouk. Good morning to you, Dr. Rashid Pelpo. I trust you're doing well. I saw you at the Manifesto launch. You flashed on my TV screen and you were hoisting your flag, and you know, you were in an exhilarating mood, very excited. I said, hey,
I like that.
See my man, oh, my man is very happy.
Yes, a new dawn is coming to Ghana, so I should be happy about that.
So let the people should say, wait, hey, Joe, what?
Hey, Joe, Bodo.
And he doesn't invite us. Then we will also declare him a bad elder brother.
Yes. Don't worry at all.
We will declare him a persona non grata.
You don't have to worry. Your invitation is special. And it will come.
But how have you been, sir?
It's been
last
good.
week you were not here with us.
Yeah, it's been very hectic for me.
You have been visiting your constituency quite often lately.
Yes, because circumstances would sometimes compel me to go.
Absolutely.
The last time there was a coronation, then the next one funerals, then the next one funeral, then the next one president's visits.
Okay.
And then
I saw that.
On and on.
That was also very beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been following you on social media, you know, because we are friends on social media. So sometimes it just flashes on my feed and I have to watch. And I must admit, sometimes when I do this, people think, oh, I'm campaigning for him. No, it's not about campaigning for anybody. It's about appreciating the very little effort that somebody puts into ensuring that somebody is happy.
Yeah.
And the generality of what you do for the people, for me, is what is relevant. It's not about, trying to help one or two people because they are within your fray. It's because you expand that assistance and help to everybody. That's what governance should be about. And when I see you doing that, I get excited because I want for every single soul who lives in this country to benefit from the spoils of the state.
That's
simplicity.
Excellent.
And the members of parliament are the vehicles that can be used to ensure that level of development that we are talking about is sent to the people. Albeit that we say that this year, but the members of parliament are the primus inter pares to ensure that is done. And I've seen a couple of the things that you've done. Schools, giving bags, what's it called? Cement bags and things like that to start schools. Look, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Now I've been saying that people should not vote based on a one-time support. That's why some politicians always keep the people poor. So when they come, they will give you 1 cedi, 2 cedi, 5 cedi. And your conscience is bought. But you are not doing that. You are actually educating your people so that they can even stand up to you one day. Tell the honorable, you educated us, we are telling you that you did ABC, it's not right. So do it right. So you're doing a good job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's now hear from you.
Always.
Let's hear from you on this South African issue.
Thank you so much, and good morning to West Central. It's a reminder, the violence in South Africa as a result of an anti-racist conduct is a reminder of the old regime in which two systems existed. You have the black who were seen to be inferior and less human than the whites. And you have an economic class which is more powerful, which is the whites, against the black, which were the poor and marginalized. And so when you see semblances of such actions, things that will remind people about the past, then they want to resist because they have gone through pain, suffering, to the point that they got themselves liberated. And they don't want to go back to that past in which you are human and not a human when it comes to a comparison between you and the white. In your own country, where you are giving birth to, where you own, God gave to you to live, you are seen not to be a full human being. This particular violence is because a pharmaceutical company did adverts that showed that a black hair was inferior to the white hair, and that the black person was inferior to the white man. And so the economic freedom fighters, you know them, they protested against it.
Julius Maleme's team.
Yes. And then they got the pharmaceutical company shut all its shops. But the violence didn't stop. It then ignited some reactions to what the people have been doing. And all over the country, everywhere they went throughout the country, they shut down their shops and destroyed the shops. And their hope is that the shops will never be open again because they use it against black people. Just that advert against black people can destroy the psyche of a person, even in freedom. Like he says, the violence can be physical, the violence can be psychological. A situation where somebody having a feeling that you are inferior and having a feeling that you cannot reach a certain level of success will live with it. And once you live with it, you can never progress beyond certain levels. And you always feel inferior and disturbed in situations where white people exist or white people are seen. You withdraw, and that withdrawal itself is a psychological disease. So I think that rather than condemning the violence, they should find the root cause of it. Because it is important that we don't start violence, we don't start situations which will ignite violence in the first place. And so we kill that and let it get into the heads of all white people in South Africa.
Right.
That we've gone past the situation where they want to promote white supremacy in a land belonging to black people. You see, so I think it's unfortunate that business should suffer because of this, especially in a period where we have this pandemic raging throughout the country, and it's one of the worst in Africa for people to engage in this kind of thing, because it's already, the economy is already on its knees, or it's already suffering. So it's unfortunate, and we just hope and pray that they will be able to address this challenge adequately.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, if you just joined us, you're watching the Newspaper segment on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Owusu Danso. So we've just dispatched with the issue in South Africa, and so we're coming back home to discuss other issues that I believe are as important to you as it is to me. We are going to quickly kickstart the conversation with what has been captured on the front page of the Inside newspaper. The front page of the Inside newspaper, which captions the shocking details and why it is bad for Ghana. Ejapa deal, the shocking details, I beg your pardon, and why it is bad for Ghana. For us to have an informed conversation and for us to be appreciative of what the Inside newspaper is talking about, I think it's imperative without more to read a little bit of the story, for our attention. So, at the part deal, the shocking details and why it is bad for Ghana. This story was written by Nick Shackson, and I read. On the last days before Ghana's parliament went on recess, the government laid before it for approval some agreement. Parliament hastily went through those bills, debated and approved them on Friday, August 14th, 2020. The bill is not law yet. It's a strange, murky, and exceptionally unpopular agreement. Ghana's Attorney General described the deal as unconscionable. A group of civil society organizations have said it lacks the basic minimum of transparency. A think tank calls it broad daylight robbery. Essentially, a mysterious company based in the UK tax haven of Jersey, Ejapa Royalties, has inserted itself into the middle of what looks like a highly unwise financing arrangement in exchange for an upfront payment from investors variously forecast between $500 million and $1 billion. Ghana will be signing away over 3/4 of its future gold royalties to Ejapa forever. We have obtained a little information about Ejapa from Jersey, which combined with some leaked documents from Ghana outlined below paint a pretty shocking picture. Page 3. This is far from the first time an African country has exchanged future mineral revenues for an upfront cash injection. Angola has since the 1980s set up a series of oil pre-financing arrangements where it is taking often large loans from consortia of Western banks in exchange for future oil cargoes secured by its state oil company Sonangol. During the war, these loans were used to secure urgent weapons deliveries with plenty of money going missing along the way. However, while those Angolan loans have for years rightly been criticized for their opacity, the Ghana deal seems to have added a further element, the insertion of this mysterious private party into the middle of the financing streams under opaque terms. Even Angola rarely went that far, with one spectacularly murky exception involving Russian debt. For true connoisseurs of shady dealing, shadow banking, and the Wall Street consensus, the Ghanaian financing arrangements are consistent with and a twisted version of what the shadow banking expert Daniela Gabot calls the Wall Street development. It goes on, no. But it is asking some fundamental questions which I feel will be imperative for us to respond to. Question 1, is this good value for money? Question 2, what is Ejapa and who owns it? These are, and then you know, it continues on page 10. And I think I've had the occasion to ask these fundamental questions here as well. But I mean, it's a very long and detailed write-up, and I think that everybody should purchase the Inside Nwespaper if you want to really appreciate the other side of Ejapa transaction. So, Doc, let me again start with you, Dr. Marzouk. I mean, you've been following this Ejapa issue unfold. You've been following it unravel, and I'm sure that you've formed your own impression as to the potency of this agreement. Let's hear from you.
Coincidentally, we are moving from racism to nepotism. And it is very unfortunate. It's unfortunate because both evils in this context are associated with the beautiful continent of Africa. Racism in South Africa, nepotism in Ghana. Very unfortunate. Yes. Let me make it clear that my understanding of the Ejapa deal is legal. It's lawful. Yeah, it is legal. It's very lawful. Those behind it have been able to satisfy all the requirements of law. So to argue on the basis of illegality alone is to shoot yourself or to allow your argument to collapse at birth. Those who think that the deal is illegal should reconsider their argument. It is legal. However, it is
and for the purposes of getting a better understanding, yes. Illegality in contract is a contract is considered as an illegal contract when the subject matter of the agreement relates to an illegal purpose that violates the law. Please.
Thank you very much. So beyond that, you know, a nation is not only governed by law. I'm saying that a nation is not only governed by law, it is also governed by conventions and by morality. So where there's no morality, the law itself becomes destructive. The legality of an issue is one thing, and how constructive that issue is another. In my opinion, Ejapa is legal but immoral. Very immoral. First, it raises either a perception or a reality of nepotism. And that should not be entertained in a democratic, secular republic. Two, it raises questions of transparency. And those questions of transparency must be answered to justify the morality of that deal. Three, it raises questions of suspicion. I don't think in the interest of the nation, any deal that is supposed to be for the benefit of the nation should be associated with any form of suspicion. And therefore, we have to look at it again. I have been told that the legal firm involved,
African Legal Consult,
whatever, I mean, they belong to the same people who are pushing the deal. And I'm saying, yes, let our viewers understand very well. I am not saying it is not legal, it's not lawful. It is lawful, but it is immoral. It is an act of nepotism. Ghana is too big. Because the argument is that, yes, all those who have the legal firm is a Ghanaian legal firm, it exists, and it has the capacity to do it. Is it the only legal firm? Are they the only Ghanaians who are
Let me provoke your thought a little bit. Yeah. You're saying that you want to elevate the argument from
the illegality,
the illegality of it to morality.
Yes.
But what makes it legal?
Well, I've been
What
told,
makes the argument legal?
I've been
I
told.
mean, the agreement legal.
Yeah, I've been told it has. It has the parliamentary approval, right? It has the parliamentary approval, and that is legal, right?
Does it?
Say something there.
No.
So that,
No. Does it have any parliamentary approval?
yeah, it has a parliamentary approval.
Sure.
In a wrong way.
No.
But it has, like, fundamentally, it has a
Fundamentally, it has the
parliamentary
parliamentary approval, right?
Let me explain something.
No.
You see,
Okay,
you
it
finish.
will be
finish.
better
when it finishes.
Yeah, it will be better for me to finish so that you come in
Yes,
as a parliamentarian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, make
So,
the argument. But
so
the fact
on the
is
face
that-
value,
yeah, okay.
on the face value,
No,
it doesn't
I'm following
matter.
you, I'm following you, I'm
Yeah,
following you.
it doesn't matter the nature of the parliamentary approval. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it has the parliamentary approval. But I'm saying that parliamentary approval itself is dismantled by instances of nepotism, suspicion, lack of transparency. That is my argument, right? It doesn't matter. Look, sometimes we need to consider the context. It is good to eat a balanced diet, but it is wrong to eat that balanced diet in the toilet. Because to eat that balanced diet in the toilet defeats the purpose of the balanced diet. So it is clear. Those argue, because I listen to people and I read a lot on it. What I know is that it does not offend the law. But people should not end the conversation there. The fact that it does not end the law, the fact that it does not offend the law does not mean that it is productive to us. It may be legal, it may satisfy all the requirements of the law, but at the end of the day, it could be a very nice opportunity for a group of people or a clique to enjoy at the expense of national development. That is my argument here.
Okay.
So, and I'm saying it is immoral. It's immoral because of the evils associated with it, the lack of transparency, the issues of nepotism, and related issues. Nepotism, lack of transparency, injustice, even the engagement of the people, the characters involved, the engagement, the manner of engagement. These are all issues that should have been subjected to public scrutiny before implementing them. So,
Okay. So let's now interrogate the issues. The minority's concern has been about the process. All right. Now, the MIF Act was amended in July 2020.
sure.
And the amendment to that particular act was to the effect that the directors of the company, the special purpose vehicle, which is supposed to be an umbrella, which is supposed to be under the umbrella of government, right? The directors of that special purpose vehicle must have unrestricted independence. So that's the amendment that was effected, on the floor of Parliament, to reflect the mind of government in respect of this particular contract. That is one. Two, that act was on the floor of Parliament. In fact, the whole transaction was on the floor of Parliament to seek parliamentary blessings. We had already expended $2 million to the legal firm that is providing legal services to this special purpose vehicle.
If you say we,
Government of Ghana. Yes.
Okay.
Then four.
And the company belongs to
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So, and then four.
No, the company doesn't belong to government.
It belongs to
It belongs to a clique very close to government.
very close to government.
Let's make
No,
it
but
clear.
no, but yeah.
No,
But you see, no, and maybe Doc needs to.
Yes,
So, but these are the fundamental.
Listen, I'm helping the discussion. I don't want people to accuse us of trying to bastardize a particular.
No. We are interrogating the issues.
No, so all we are saying is that yes, by law, the company does not belong to government, but in reality, the company belongs to a clique very close to government.
Yes. So
it must be known.
but these are the issues, the legitimate concerns raised by the minority.
Yes.
Nothing that we must also look at, and on the basis of these reasons that I've cited,
Yes.
the minority has described this whole transaction as fraudulent.
I don't speak for the minority.
No. I want us to you see,
yes.
a lot of people are confused about this whole Japan transaction
yes.
and what it means for the nation.
Yes.
And so I'm bringing these issues out so that I'll provoke your thoughts on this matter.
Sure, I understand you very well. Well, fraudulent may not be my word. I mean, in line with my own diction.
Okay.
Fraudulent may not be my word. But I stand to argue that it amounts to nepotism. It is an act of intransparency. It is something that Ghanaians must rise against, but within the confines of the law, right?
Yep.
You see, when you mention the spending of $2 million, right?
Absolutely.
Is it $2 million?
Yeah, 2 million, yeah.
That I do not have evidence. I don't have evidence. And I don't know.
No, it's actually the public domain.
Well, I don't have evidence. Okay. If that is the case, then there's the need for further investigation.
Yeah.
Apart from everything, government must investigate what justified the spending of that money. Who? No. I'm saying, yeah. What justified it? We want the justification. Who spent that money? In whose name
was that money spent?
Was that money spent? The public money spent on the business of a clique.
For whose benefit?
For whose benefit? We need to do that, right? And then, in what circumstances was the money even sought? In what circumstances was the money approved? In what circumstances was the money spent? We need answers to all these issues in the interest of transparency.
Absolutely.
So that I don't have evidence.
Okay.
But then, what the evidence I have is in relation to the nepotism. That one is clear. We all know that those behind it are in bed or close to the powers that be. And that amounts to nepotism. That alone uglifies the legality of that bill, of that deal, right? But the nepotism alone, the nepotism associated with that deal, uglifies the legality of it. So, and I'm saying that in a situation where we are dealing with so many people, so many tribes, so many religions, so many communities, let us avoid any iota of discrimination against any group of people, and for any group of people, let us do everything possible to ensure that we remain a unitary state. And whatever happens will be in the interest of the nation, not to perpetuate the whims, the caprices, and the fortunes of a clique close to government. That is my argument.
I was actually enjoying it. Anyway, let me bring into the conversation Dr. Rashid Purple. Doctor, I think that you will be best placed to give us, to paint a picture to us exactly what transpired on the floor of Parliament, because it appears all of us are at sea. It's lost on us, you know. And so maybe you have to help us appreciate what went on in Parliament, because I know that the minority staged the walkout, and the walkout was hinged on the description of Honorable Abu Jinapo as Papano by Kojo Ponkroma, and not necessarily, I don't know, and not necessarily the fact that the minority was in complete disagreement with this particular transaction. So what occasioned on the floor of Parliament?
No, it's very regrettable that our message didn't come out very clearly. And right after the walkout, we did a press conference. And we told the public that we walk out not because of the Papano conduct, but because of what the agreement represents and the illegality of it. The agreement is hinged on an amendment of a law, because the mineral income investment fund must not be used for such an investment unless an amendment in it occurs. Unless you amend the law that allows you to use the money for another investment, you should not use it for that. It should come directly to government into the consolidated fund for use by the people of Ghana. Then they decided to amend the law that will allow them to use the royalties for another investment. Now, that amendment did not go through by our laws, the 1992 Constitution, and by our standing orders, you cannot, in anticipation of a law, go ahead and pass another law, that this law will come. Because of that, let me pass this law. It's illegal.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it is in the Constitution. It's in our standing orders. So we pointed it out to them that this is not a time for you to bring up this law. In any case, why the haste? You have just 3 months to an election, a major election, which will determine your fate. You might not be there. And you are going to amend, you are going to collect $500 million or $1.5 billion. What for? And we asked them, what is the agency in raising that money? Do you have a budget? Do you have something you want to do with the money, or what? They have nothing like that. The second question we asked was, who are the owners of Ajapa? Who are they? Who are the shareholders? We didn't know.
Is it not supposed to be a government entity?
No, it's an individual company.
This is a company.
Yeah.
You see, that is why I'm saying that we need further clarity on the matter.
Yes.
What is Ajapa? What is it?
That is it. That we were asking the same questions. What company is it? Is it supposed to be?
Okay, so wait.
That is supposed.
So wait, the company is going to represent government of Ghana. Is that what it is? That the special purpose vehicle that is being set up, called Ajapa, will be a liaison between government of Ghana and, you know, the countries where we'll be going for our loans from. What is it? I want to understand.
Well, you see, when you are doing a transaction and you set up a special purpose vehicle, it is for the purpose of running the transaction, and it's supposed not to be seen as just another company. It's it could be an amalgamation of, it is always an amalgamation of companies that come together to establish it for the purpose of executing the transaction. So the special purpose vehicle, therefore, is one that is meant to carry out the agreement that was signed in Parliament or by government, so that it will translate the investment into real practical application. So that is the Ajapa. But we wanted to know more about Ajapa because we are approving something, and a special, it doesn't matter whether it's special purpose vehicle or any other company. It is important to be transparent about it. Let us know who are the other stakeholders. I mean, the other shareholders. It's companies that come together to form it.
Yeah.
The details were not readily available in Parliament, and that's what one of the major problems we had. So if you look at the transaction.
So wait, your disagreement is not about the formation of the company for the purposes of mortgaging the future, the gold that we have. Is that what it is?
We disagree with the fact that royalties, which we should flow into government every year, is going to be used to set up a company and to be committed to the company. And for 15 years, we are not going to get the royalties, $120 million a year. It should go to a company.
Yes.
And we said we want to still come to government.
Okay.
Number two, we are against the fact that even if you decide to do that, though we disagree, you would not do it without being transparent. The third one is that we found that there has been so much interference by private individuals in the transactions who are key stakeholders in that transaction and who are going to be key beneficiaries, because the board of governors that are established as a result by law and by the agreement which we approve cannot be changed.
Yes. That was the amendment that happened in July 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
And so
if they will have unrestricted independence, that's what the law.
Yes, they have unrestricted independence.
Yes.
So if you look at all this, I mean, why are you protecting all that? How come that the sovereign people of Ghana cannot even change these people? And why should they have unrestricted independence? Is it the same with all companies? If government sees something wrong with it, can't we change it? Can't Parliament of Ghana change it?
What is the current state of affairs in respect of our royalties? What happens with it?
It goes into the consolidated fund. It's our money.
The proceeds that we get from the percentage.
Yeah.
You know, I'm told we get about, is it $100 million per annum? I'm told. I don't know if that's what the figure is.
It's $120 million
per annum.
Yes.
Or per month.
And it's depending on gold prices.
Okay.
If the gold prices increase, then it also increases.
So that particular money goes into the ESLA fund.
It goes into, yeah.
Like, is it Heritage Fund or ESLA fund? Which one?
The gold royalties.
Yes. The current state of affairs. I just want to know the current state of affairs.
It's money that goes into the consolidated fund.
Consolidated fund. For the purposes of development and things like that. Okay. So now this particular government is not happy with that arrangement.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So now they want to, on the basis of the Mineral Investment Income Investment Fund, create a special purpose vehicle.
Yeah. Which will manage the fund.
Which will manage the fund. So the money that is otherwise supposed to go into the consolidated fund will now go to,
for 15 years,
will go into the special purpose vehicle.
Yes. It is committed.
Yes.
And it's going to be used.
Okay.
And you are only getting 51% of the proceeds, the profit you are going to get. But you are the major stakeholder. You are the one providing all the resources. You give it to them, and they now pay you dividends. And the dividend is 51%. And then,
so instead of so instead of the government of Ghana getting 100% of the gold royalties, we have decided that we want to privatize it for the purpose, for want of better expression, privatize that particular process.
Yes.
So that Kwame Owusu Danso's company will now be paid that amount of money that would have otherwise gone into the consolidated fund.
Yes.
Then Kwame Owusu Danso will do what with it?
Will now run with the company, will now invest it in whatever they want to do.
Will now invest it and pay Ghana
and pay government dividends.
Do it, why?
When they get profit, they pay. If they don't get profit, they won't pay you. But your $120 million a year will not be part of. You won't
so the $120 million that would have come to Ghana government will now go to the special purpose vehicle.
Yes.
The special purpose vehicle is supposed to invest that particular money. In fact, they can actually even decide to go for loans and whatever you on behalf of government. And
government has already taken money because of that. $500 million.
You see the problem. Explain the thing very well, because I want to understand this. Because I can appreciate it. But somebody else may not necessarily appreciate it. So I want you to break it down for me. That already the arrangement is that 100% of the gold royalties that we generate, goes into the consolidated fund.
Yeah.
Now, government says that it is unhappy with that particular arrangement because it goes into the fund and it sits there. It doesn't generate any profit.
You use it.
That's what government says. That, it doesn't generate any profit. You know, sometimes when you invest this money, you get small profit on it. So government says, okay, because it is just sitting in the consolidated fund, I want to create a special purpose vehicle. If I'm wrong, please just correct me. I want to create a special purpose vehicle. That special purpose vehicle is going to now be the recipient of the $120 million, right? Invest it and then pay government of Ghana. That's what it is.
Yeah. No longer royalties, but now they will pay dividends. That is, dividend means that when you get profits, you share the profits with the company. The company will take 49% and Ghana government will take 51%.
But what is that special purpose vehicle bringing to the government of Ghana before it is given? They
are raising. Government of Ghana is raising $500 million from them.
From the special purpose vehicle.
Yes.
You see, so the government of Ghana is borrowing from the special purpose vehicle. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's something. No, you see, it's like commitment by the special purpose vehicle
that we are going to make
that
sure
they are private companies that we are going to raise the money from.
Yes, because
and in the form of shares.
In contract, consideration is very important. I mean, sometimes, but there must be some level of consideration from the special purpose vehicle, for which reason government of Ghana will also commit itself to that agreement. That's what I want to know now. What is the special purpose vehicle bringing to the table, for which reason we are giving them 120 million of our royalties to operate with and bring us dividends later?
Very important question. They are bringing in $500 million.
Okay.
And you are committing your money $1.2 million, $120 million a year for 15 years. If you want to multiply it even by 10, that's $1.2 billion.
Okay.
So, and if you want to multiply it by 5, you already have the $500 million, $600 million.
This calculation is very crucial. I don't want us to jump the gun. So now you are saying that they are going to be raising 500. Government of Ghana is going to raise $500 million through the assistance of the special purpose vehicle.
Yes.
$500 million.
From the
Western
private
private companies. Yeah, etc. So they are the special purpose vehicle. Okay. Now we are saying that because you are going to assist us raise $500 million and we cannot pay you immediately, what we want to do is that we want to give you $120 million for 15 years.
For 15 years.
Now we are getting somewhere. So now do the calculation for me. What's the calculation you are saying?
And if you look at just for 5 years, the people will get $600 million.
$600 million.
Yes, if you were to just
for 1 year.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. So if you multiply 600 million by 15.
Yeah.
No. For 5 years.
For 5 years. So
for 5 years, $120 million for 5 years will be $600 million.
For 600 million.
Yeah.
So let's
even if it were your money and you decide that, look,
so 6 plus
I want
6
$600 million.
Right? So 6 plus 6 plus 6. Sure.
Yes.
600 million plus another 600 million. That's 12.
Yes.
So
1.8 billion.
So 1.8 billion. And we only are going for 500
million. So in anticipation that there will be profits, and rather than the 120 million, the profit will earn us more than the 120 million, and which is rare. I mean, which doesn't sound possible. And so we say that, look, why are you, rather than just keeping your royalties, you are going to take dividends that you cannot be sure of? What about if they don't declare profits? What happens? What about if the company doesn't function as we want it to be, but you are compelled to spend that much money because you've committed yourself by taking $500 million? And we ask them, what are you going to use the $500 million for? You are coming to Parliament, you want us to approve this thing, you want us to pay $500 million.
No,
what are you?
I think they stated that they're going to use one for education, for infrastructure.
In 3 months.
The last one, and then health.
In 3 months. Well,
yeah.
It's now that they didn't bring it to Parliament, and that's what I'm just reporting to you what happened in Parliament. They had no agenda.
Yeah, but even with the education, people have raised concerns that already the free SHS is funded by, I think, is it the ESLA or the Heritage Fund, one of them?
Heritage Fund.
Heritage Fund. Yeah, so if free SHS is sponsored already by the Heritage Fund, then it has no basis for justification in the loan that we are going to.
They don't know what they want to do with the money. You see, they are raising the money for purposes we cannot easily explain. You see, there's something not right about it, but they have to explain. It is upon the pressure by Parliament that they are now coming out to the public and say, we want to use it for education, we want to use it for health, this, that. In what way are you going to use it for them? What is the compelling thing that is giving you that is driving you to go and raise that much money to do what you say you want to do?
What is the purpose of a transactional advisor? Because I know that Data Bank is also providing is playing a role as a transactional advisor to this particular agreement. I want to understand what role they are going to play. You see, we need to systematically unravel the issue and bring it out so clearly that the lay person will understand this transaction. Because oftentimes, we are here and then the average Ghanaian is there. They don't understand the issues. So let's break it down. I'm told reliably that Data Bank is playing a role in this particular, in fact, which has been admitted to by the finance minister. After a long battle between himself and the CSOs, finally there was an admission that Data Bank is playing some significant and material role in this whole transaction.
In what capacity?
As the transactional advisor. So the Data Bank will be the transactional advisors. Now, if Data Bank, so I want us to understand who a transactional advisor is and what roles do they normally play in such transactions.
You see, first of all, you know that the legal entity
that's
dealing with this one.
It's African Legal Consult.
Belonging to...
I mean, Gabi is a managing partner. Yes.
Gabi and the rest.
Yeah.
Now, the transaction advisor is Data Bank, belonging to Ken Ofurata.
Well, I don't know whether he has abdicated that.
Why? His shares are doing the works there for him. His money, he set it up with his friends. So how much we are Ghanaians? I mean, Even Trump, who set up his company and became president, hasn't given it up.
No.
So you can't expect that this man who used his sweat to set up data bank, because he has become finance minister, will not belong to it anymore. He is part and parcel of it, and they have given the job to themselves. A transaction advisor is the company. It could be a company, it could be an individual.
Okay.
Who looks at the transaction that is occurring and then does value for money analysis, and then you look into the transaction that is taking place into the future and see whether it is of value or not, and then you advise. It does some study of the situation, some critical empirical study of the situation, and then bring out reasons why you should go into the transaction. So and the transaction advisor is very critical. In fact, it's upon the transactions advisor's advice that you can go into business or you can go into a transaction. So
okay. Let me just read for the purpose of all of us. The role of the transaction advisor. The transaction advisor does all the detailed financial, technical, and legal work required to prepare the project sponsor to implement the proposed project. The transaction advisor will complete a feasibility study to a standard that will enable the institution to establish the commercial attractiveness and bankability of the project. During the procurement phase, the transaction advisor will advise the project sponsor on optimum risk allocation and the resultant contract structure, including preparation of all necessary documentation and requisite approvals. And then consideration of appointment of transactional advisor. I don't know if that will be crucial. Should I read that out? No? Yes, okay.
It's important. A transaction advisor is critical.
Yeah.
You see, he does value for money. He advises on whether the thing is viable, or the company is the transaction is viable or not, or the kind of investment you are going to do, whether it's important or not. Because of the key position of the transaction advisor, you don't just give it to somebody, you advertise it, because they charge a lot. It's like giving them a company, giving them a job, a contract. Because the offering will come with a contract, you advertise it for 120 days, 3 months. Then you get a key person or a company that is capable of doing the job, and then after looking at the various bids that will come to you, then you now open the bids and then pick the one that is most suitable for the job. Now you pick a transaction advisor without going through due process.
Yeah, because it's stated here that a transaction advisor, it says that in line with the government's constitutional mandate for the hiring of services of a transaction, procurement of the transaction advisor, it must be fair, it must be equitable, it must be transparent, it must be competitive and cost effective.
Yes.
So we don't even know how much we are paying for the service.
It's very expensive to have a transaction advisor. So it has to be advertised. Various people who think they are capable of doing the job will apply. And then you look at them and look at cost effectiveness and pick one of them who will now do the feasibility of the company, who will advise on whether to go into the company or not, who will advise on the profitability of the company,
and the bankability,
and then the bankability, and then viability of it. So that if you think that this is a company to go into, then he will now say go into it. If it is not, he will tell you, look, after the feasibility, you can't. I can tell you, when John Mahama was vice president of Ghana, he asked me to get transaction advice, to examine something that was brought forward to him. And it was in respect of doing a dual carriage between Accra and Kumasi. And then the transaction advisor brought their feasibility. It was realized that feasibility was done 5 years before, 5 years earlier. And because of that, though they were willing to use their own money to do the dual carriage, the OMPP members of the committee opposed it. They said, no, the transactions advisors analysis was wrong because it was done 5 years. during that time, that period they did it, there were 30,000 vehicles that moved between Accra and Kumasi every day. And now
it's more.
Yeah, now in 5 years they thought that it would be more. And so then there's people say, look, it is a projection. We can project into it after 5 years. They still insisted that they won't agree. And that killed it, you know. And so the purpose of a transaction advisor is to advise government on whether to go into a project or not.
Okay.
After he has done all the technical details and brought out the possible investment in that particular project.
Hold on, let me go for this quick commercial break. When I come back, I'll be asking the both of you a very fundamental question about the processes that we went through in selecting our financial and our legal advisors to this particular transaction. Quick commercial break. Stay with us. There's more.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. Thank you very kindly for staying tuned into Pan-African Television. If you just joined us, we're still trying to dissect the part deal and, you know, look at the issue, the whole deal in totality. I asked a question before the break, and I think that I have to come to you, Dr. Marazuk, for you to respond to it, and then Dr. Nwespaper will respond to it. But there's more, because the Peace Council is urging political parties to disband vigilante groups. And also, the 2020 Manifesto War, MPP is accusing NDC of copy. We'll get into that. And finally, election 2020 is about track records, says Bawumia and Mahama. They all agree that it's about track records. We're going to be going into all of these issues after we listen to these wonderful panelists in respect of what went into the selection of both advisors, the legal and the financial transactional advisors. Sir.
Yes, your interrogation and my elder brother's answers are clear that my position of nepotism is real. Because at the end of the day, I don't understand. But the main problem, that the mother of all the problems associated with the deal, is lack of transparency.
Mm-hmm.
It is the lack of transparency that triggers the suspicion. It is the lack of transparency that triggers the accusation of nepotism. It is the lack of transparency that triggers the accusation or the perception of fraudulence, as hinted by the minority. But it is the lack of transparency that ignites any other problems associated with that deal. For instance, the financial advisor is someone on whom Republic of Ghana is expected to spend.
Absolutely.
the money belongs to the people of the Republic of Ghana. The people of the Republic of Ghana have every right to know how their money is spent and on whom. The people of the Republic of Ghana have the right to know how legitimate the process of selecting that person is. The people of the Republic of Ghana have every right to know how the engagement is done, whether there was an advert, whether there was a shortlist, a kind of shortlisting, whether there was an interview, whether there was a proper appointment. All these details are supposed to be known by the people of the Republic of Ghana, because they are the beneficiary and they are spending their money. The same argument goes in relation to the legal advisor. So I am urging the government and any other authority interested in the deal to ensure that there is abundant transparency. And if there is the need for us to review that deal, then of course we have to do that in the supreme interest of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you. Doc, briefly on the subject matter of the mode of selection.
The mode of selection was bad. It was illegal, without advertising. Well, sometimes there's what they call
sole sourcing.
Sole sourcing. They may sole source data bank, because data bank stands tall. When you look at the, do the casual look at the companies and decide that they are going to use that one. But it is unacceptable for such a big transaction, which has a future consequence on the royalties of Ghana, which we earn every year, and we want to use it. You are going to commit it without proper due process. This deal is like the Kelny GVG deal, in which just even before the transaction started,
money had been paid.
$1.5 million had been committed every month to the company. And you wonder, would $178 million paid to them? They came saying it was only 150. Finally, Imani discovered that it was $178 million, and that before even they started work, the company started work, the Ghana government was paying them $1.5 million a year. Can you imagine that? And so even this one, they are paying $2 million to the legal firm that is operating this deal. So this is a very difficult situation for the people of Ghana. We can only pray that the exit power, and we examine, investigate this, and then prosecute if there's a need.
All right.
Because you can't throw away people's money like that. Okay.
026-084-6539 is the WhatsApp number. And let me remind you again that we're streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Please, just go on there, watch it, share it, and leave your comments underneath the video. I will read them here for you on the show. I know now I've been overwhelmed with text messages and WhatsApp messages, but I'll try today to read as democracy that we've experimented over the period. Then we must eschew vigilantism from our body politic. Because vigilantism does not encourage development, does not bring about development. The fortunate thing that Peace Council has been talking, for a moment, I thought that their voices were loudly silent in respect of all matters. But now at least they found their voice and they are beginning to speak up. So let me start with you, Dr. Rashid Pelpo. Peace Council is urging political parties to disband their vigilante groups. And then we can find a way to end this whole conversation with the Manifesto war and the further elections about track record. Please.
Yeah, first of all, vigilantes and vigilante groups, vigilantism and vigilante groups are banned by law. There's an existing law that says that you cannot operate a vigilante group.
The Vigilantism Act.
Yes. And so they can only call on us to adhere strictly to the tenets of the law. And I'm sure that's what they are calling for. If anybody involves himself or herself in vigilantism, you are culpable and you will be held and put before the law, so that you face the consequences as a result. So what they are doing, or what they may be asking for, is that we should respect the law. The fact is that we are afraid of what the MPP wants to do, even though there is a law banning it. Taking away people gathering to say they are defending a ballot box is no longer acceptable. But you now have tax giving official military or police uniform who are deployed to places and are seen to be state police or state military, and yet are not. That is where the fear is. That is another transformation of thuggery and vigilantism, who are going to perpetuate violence on the population because of an ulterior motive that we all know about. So an election, this election coming, is one that is going to be fought with nerves. It's going to be very emotional. And I think that Ghanaians must insist that we demonstrate high level tolerance and accountability to make sure this is successful. It cannot be a situation where only because of Nana not leaving power, the country should go to war. There should be open, transparent, let's have free, fair elections, so that in the end, whoever wins will have no reason to complain. All right. But where in the situation, people go to polling stations to fire guns with arms and armed with firearms and machetes, it's unacceptable. And so vigilantism, yes, we ban it, we don't want it, but there are still things that people must watch out for. Okay. MPP tax, who may go there at the polling stations to cause trouble and to start a fight, so that in the end they would say that, well, we are losing, but because of this so and so, these results are not this, these results are not that, and there'll be a problem. Okay. I think that we need to fight to make sure the right thing is done. All right. I agree with the Peace Council, but we employ them to be equitable in whatever they do, and to insist in fighting and condemning the bad things that this government is embarking on. When they did the Ayawaso thing, it took a long time before they started talking. Subsequently, look at the exclusion of people from Volta and Northern Extractions from voting from registering in some specific places. We didn't hear the Peace Council speaking. They must speak if they think that they have to be relevant. Right. Because it's important for the Ghana government, for the people of Ghana, and for the government to be able to be on the right path. Okay. Because if they don't do so and anything begins to happen, their advice, exhortations will not be relevant anymore. The advice, exhortations will not be relevant anymore. These are the final comments of Dr. Rashid Pepper. Let's now come to you, Dr. Marzuk.
Vigilantism is a mockery of constitutional democracy. And therefore, it's unfortunate that it is part of the features of democratic governance in our fourth Republican constitutional dispensation. Very unfortunate. The call is legitimate, and we should all respect that call. I think it is a duty for the council to make such a call. That duty must be responded to by the responsibility of government, because government has every power within the constitution and within the structures of governance to ensure that whoever is indulged in vigilantism is dealt with. So the implementation, enforcement of the vigilante law, we have very beautiful laws. Even when the law was being enacted, so many people opposed, so many people, and they are vindicated today. The laws are there. The people can call for the law, but it is up to the government to enforce the enforcement. But even within the enforcement, let us also not be fooled, right? We shouldn't be fooled. Look, we should also be able to identify forms of vigilantism. The petty vigilantism that we are talking about may not be so much destructive, what I call sophisticated vigilantism perpetrated by men in power, women in responsible position, is rather the issue. Look, it is very simple for the police to arrest an ordinary person involved in vigilantism.
Absolutely.
But it is very difficult, if not impossible, for the police to arrest a vigilante dressed in official position. A vigilante decorated by an official position. Very, very difficult. Sometimes the actors, the real actors, are behind the scenes. So what government can do to ensure that the country is not consumed by vigilantism is to prevent all forms of impunity. It is the impunity that rekindles vigilantism at any time that the country comes to an election.
Yeah.
In every election year, vigilantism is rekindled by impunity. And if government agrees to tackle the impunity fairly, objectively, then of course we will not even have the time to be talking about vigilantism here. So I am appealing to government and appealing to political actors, non-political actors, not to be used, to allow themselves to be used as apparatus of evil.
All right.
Let me take this opportunity to appeal to the youth, because I'm one of them, to resist any politician or political party that attempts to use them as apparatus of evil, as the wood, firewood for political inferno.
Thank you very, very, very much, Dr. Marozo. Let me read a few messages that have come through before we look at our last two issues. And I'm going to box those two issues together. Let me remind you again, these two issues are Manifesto War, MPP accuses NDC of copy. Daily Guide reported that story on its front page. Now, so 2020 elections is about track records, says Dr. Baumia, and leader and flabber of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama. That was also reported by the Informer newspaper this morning. So we're going to be touching on these two stories before we exit. But let me read a few of your messages. The reportage to the Peace Council by the Akufo-Addo and MPP's diversionary tactics. We shall still talk about the Sakawa moves in the system. Darlene Ben from Mamponting, Meduma. Good morning to you, KO. The demonstration is going on at Asamankese now, because they said former president used the word Sakawa on them. If this is the case, then every tribe or clan is going to demonstrate all over the country, because every tribe has gotten its share of such words. BB from Accra. Well, those of you who want to fuel these things must watch out. From Lucas, Wasa Akropon, Pan-African TV, you do all. 4 more for Nana. We vigilantes, we are the peaceful ones in Ghana. We don't want to fight. Okay. You say 4 more for Nana. This one simply said, hey, okay, hey, right back at you. Good morning to you. The best way to go is for the voters to put away the MPP and NDC. The Liberal Party of Ghana has the best of manifesto policies to create jobs and wealth for Ghanaians. A free year from Santa Maria. Which kind of deal is this, Ejapa? Indeed, 7th December, we shall see. Thank you, Kwame, from Takrade. The Peace Council, where were they during the voter registration? By Reverend from Adenta. Ejapa, in simple terms, we get 200 every year from royalties. Comes to the consolidated fund and used for development by government. Government thinks it needs more money at once for special unknown undeclared projects. So government itself surreptitiously creates an SPV and takes $500 million and signs an agreement with the unknown SPV to receive our 200 million annual royalties and do magic with it. And when it makes profit or loss, Ghana is given a share. The SPV is registered in Jesse. Excuse my language. Esakawa zone. Lamenting Joe sent in this particular message. You said the dividend is shared between the state and the company at a percentage of 51 and 49 respectively. I want to know who owns the accumulated income for the 15-year period. Robert Asakinaba from Volta sent in this one. And I think that Dr. Rashid Pepo needs to respond to that when I'm done reading my messages. Good morning, Champion KOD. Good morning to your brilliant panelists. Please, my bro, read this message for me. Ashaman is bleeding. Abba, the Ashaman Jericho Road is killing us. We beg, please, echo this message to the MPP. David Nati from Ashaiman. Ashaiman, Jericho Road is terrible. Government, year of roads, visit there. Good morning to you and to my mentor, Honorable Rashid Pepo, and my blood brother from the wrong party. What do you mean by from the wrong party, Alhaji Marzouk? Alhaji Marzouk is not in any wrong party. Please, I think disbanding of the vigilantism can be done by example. What happens to the recommendation of Ayawaso White Paper from Abdul Karim Naban Yusuf in Accra? I'm sure you know him. Hello, KOD. Please give my regards to Honorable Rashid Pepo. KOD, the Peace Council should be bold to call a spade, not a digging implement. They know who the vigilantes work for. Generalizing the call for an end to vigilantism by the political parties is just not enough. Tony from Takrade sent in this one. The Adapa deal is daylight robbery by Akufo-Addo-led administration to disadvantage the good people of Ghana. He says, tell Dr. Rashid Pepo to release his number on air because I have an important information for him. Stanley from Accra sent in that one. Good morning to you. The Achim Mafias know they are leaving come January 21. So they want to secure the future for the young mafias under them. And the part is simply Sakawa Negus from Bando sent in this message. It is stenching morally and bad politically to allow this Japan deal in its current form to pass. It is crazy and Ghanaians should reject it at December 7, 2020 polls. Shalom. That is why Akwete sent in this one. I am Victus watching from a flower. It's interesting. Please, let's know the nitty-gritty of this fraudulent deal, Japan deal. Who are the real directors of this company? Who gains? Okay. All right. You said JM should come and deliver you. Good morning, Godwin Ned from a flower. Please, let's no one ask NDC where they will find the money to fund all the promises made, because if our money can be shared buga buga, it means there's money in this country that can be used to help people. Frank from Accra says, please, what the MPP president Nana Akufo-Addo, please, what will the MPP president Nana Akufo-Addo do if he loses 2020 election? Will he go to court as he used to do or step down peacefully? Frank from Accra sent in this message. Farouk in Tema says, simply put, the NDC manifesto lacks credibility. Let's treat it with the contempt it deserves. President Akufo-Addo has shown good faith by fulfilling his major policy promises despite the lack of financial fiscal space his government inherited. Trusting the MPP to deliver more for Ghana should be the easiest choice to make. Let's support MPP, build a future for Ghana today. Farouk in Tema sent in this one. What is Opari saying in his home? Opari says, I don't know what is wrong with former president and his party. You've been a vice president for 2008. You became the president in 2012 and to 2016. You didn't do anything. You are now telling Ghanaians that you will create 1 million sustainable jobs. Mahama, we know you already. You give us a break. And you say your greeting goes to Honorable Opare Ansa and Honorable Ike Appeal Jesse MC for Jaben South constituency. Pan-African TV, Ghanaians made a mistake and voted for Nana. For 4 more years, he will not only sell Ghana but Ghanaians. Sent by Paul from Wa Central. Said greetings to my honorable MP. Messages are a lot. Hello Kwame, I'm also Kwame from Aguna Swedro. I'm a student nurse, and if the NDC will not continue to pay our allowances, then they will be in opposition for long. 4 more for Nana Piao. How do you expect them to pay your allowances from opposition? Kwame, please, good morning to you and your able panel. Japan is a bad deal and must be suspended, else the Achim Sakawa boys will destroy Mother Ghana. Ni Amate from Nkoko sent in this message this morning. Now, Sami Boachina Samankesi says, we don't need any bigotry and a transcendent comment in our body policy. Mahama should come and apologize. I rest my case. 4 more for Nana to do more for you. Senior, Ghanaians are not ready for any remedials incompetent president because they are happy with Nana and Bawumia good works. 4 more for Nana. Abele from Nungwa sent in this one. Mama G from Kaswa says, NDC manifesto is a bunch of lies and they can never compare theirs to the MPP manifesto. I think JM said anything free is not good. Ghanaians are wise enough to retire JM and the NDC as a party. Ayiko to the vice president for his good intervention for the poor woman in the north. 4 more for Nana, 4 more for Bawumia. Hawa Twaso Sa Mama G from Kaswa sent in this one. Good morning. We wish Dr. Hassan Pepo would have. They said he should resign. Let me read it. We wish Honorable Rashid Pepo would have emulated Honorable Nisafusini by realizing there's a generational shift in politics by not contesting the 2020 parliamentary elections. He will be defeated, God willing, come 2020. Rashid Otu from Wa sent in this one.
Ask him why Nana is contesting. 75 years.
Yeah. From Ankuma Foster from Achim Ayerebi. Now, Ghanaians have heard the manifesto from both political parties. Manifesto is needed as a practice for democracy within the country. But this election is based on records done by both political parties. Our president deserves 4 more to continue his good job. My regards to Honorable Kojo Ponkroma and Alexander Kwesiakwa from Ankuma Foster in Achim Ayerebi. Kwame Owusu from Cape Coast says, if candidate John Dramani Mahama can buy motorbikes to the youth of Ghana for Okada business and pay assembly member salaries but couldn't give teacher and nursing training allowances to do free SHS, how do we take Mahama and the NDC manifesto serious? These are all ways to deceive the good people of Ghana for votes. You say 4 more for Nana to do more. All right, let's now move to the other issues and justify why the NDC will be the best drivers of the economy, will be the best captains to sail the nation to its rightful destination, will be the best pilots to fly the nation to its destined destination. Let's hear from you.
Well, thank you so much. If we are talking about deception, the chief deception officer is the present ruling administration. The chief deception officers are the ruling class of Ghana today. They deceive Ghanaians about $1 million for each constituency they didn't give. They deceive Ghanaians about 1 factory, 1 district they have not delivered. They deceive Ghanaians about 1 warehouse, 1 district they have not delivered. They deceive Ghanaians about providing jobs for our people they have not delivered. They came on air to talk about projects they have done with that much money they have borrowed, unprecedented in the history of this country, and have not delivered. I mean, they said they have done projects. We have checked to find that the projects they have delivered were fake projects. In fact, more than 50% of the projects they said they have delivered are fake. People go to the sites where they say they have done the thing, and they are not there. They are not there. So if you talk about fake, if you talk about deception, if you talk about failure, it is synonymous to MPP. If you talk about success, if you talk about development, if you talk about fulfillment of promises and manifesto promises, it is NDC. We said that we're going to electrify the rural areas in Ghana. There are only a few places that electricity has not touched. We have sent electricity to every nook and corner of this country. We have done that. We said we're going to remove students who were sitting under trees and put them in classrooms. We have done that. We said we're going to reconstruct major roads in Accra and Kumasi and other big cities. We have done it. We promised to increase the number of secondary schools in Ghana, and we talked about 200. Within 2 years, we were able to deliver 123. And this government has abandoned them. Everything they have promised, they have failed. Everything we delivered, we promised, we delivered, at least to a very significant extent. So when you talk about failure, it is MPP, not NDC.
Okay.
In fact, in my constituency, every major thing that has ever happened in the constituency is by the NDC. So if there's anybody there who cannot appreciate this, then it means you don't live in that constituency. Again, The NPP is a government that cannot be trusted anymore with power, because they have shown that power is for a class of people to benefit themselves and to enrich themselves. You cannot imagine an embarrassing situation in which a president will engage 123 or 25 ministers. It's a world record. No government has ever done that. United States, with all their power, have engaged less than 30 ministers. China is about 26 ministers. 1.4 billion human beings. You engage ministers less than 30. You have 30 million people engaging 125 ministers. Wrong. Presidential staffers, 1,600. And mostly when you check, there are people who are close to the president. You want to keep this man in power, and you are fighting for him 4 more years, sitting down there, hungry, and you are typing. I'm sure the people who are doing this, many of them don't even know where their next meal is coming from. Not because they are unable to look for the money, but because the system has made it so difficult for them, they can't find good jobs. And you are saying you want 4 more years for him. So we need to be realistic, we need to be factual, we need to be committed in changing the MPP, so that next time they come, they will know how to promise and deliver. In unlikely event they come to power again in the near future, they will know that it is time to promise and deliver properly.
Okay, let's now pool parity with both manifestos. NDC manifesto, pari passu, NDC manifesto.
Yes.
My candid, unbiased position is that what I saw in the NPP's manifesto is not a manifesto. It is a compilation of things that they have done, things that they promised, and the status of those things. If you read it thoroughly, it's 121-page document. I read it.
Yes.
It tells you the promises made, work done so far. So if it talks about education, it tells you that we promised that we're going to introduce free SHS. Then the next, so it's more like, you know, when you're working in a corporate organization,
working progress.
Project, and then so you tell them activity, you know, like in the corporate, say activity, status, and then recommendation.
And what next?
And then what next? So I asked him, why didn't you tell Ghanaians that this was not a new thing, and that it was just, you know, the same old thing that you promised the people of Ghana that you wish to continue? Then now can see a Jimmy and that's what he said. Yeah, that's what the person said. And then he said that, why you think we are fools? Are you following me? So for starters, I had my own doubts. I questioned it, and then I was vindicated. Okay. Now your document is something I can describe as a manifesto. However, it is instructive for us to interrogate and elicit the right answers from you and your party, whether or not you are going to be able to deliver. Now, fortunately, I have the key highlights of the People's Manifesto. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to go through all of them for want of time.
Okay.
But the first thing on the list is to create 1 million jobs in 4 years. So what they are essentially saying is 250,000 jobs per year, dubbed a Jumapa. This will include both private and public sector jobs. Which sectors of the economy are you going to be creating the jobs from?
You know, what we have come to realize and what we have gathered from the people is that they want jobs. And the jobs they want is not like to say that we want government to employ us. Because Ghana, the economy is driven by small-scale businesses. And in whatever way you can do to set somebody go work is what we are going to do.
You know, you were featured in the NPP's manifesto. So you were featured. Your video was played in the NPP manifesto. Wait. The infrastructure, town hall infrastructure, when I think Samuel Oku also was presenting his...
It's Samuel Oku. He was doing a press conference.
Yeah, and you were featured.
Yes.
Your video was played when you were interviewed and you said that people should go and crack stones.
Yeah.
And they will make money.
And when I told... When the... Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I'm saying that... Is it the kind of jobs you are talking about?
No.
Because I've had the occasion
let me explain to you.
Explain to me and tell us which sectors of the economy you're going to be creating. Because I don't want this fleeting, flippant...
You see, when the MPP is drowning, they hold on to any straw. And Ghanaians are already exposing them. They are already exposed. They can no longer hold on to any straw and stand. They are failing. When I told Samson Ayinini that MPP have used part of what I said in his show, he was shocked. He said, but this was a very good thing. You were trying to explain that everybody can work. And you quoted somebody. And I still remember very clearly. And I said, okay, that's what they are doing. What we are going to do, but let me first of all explain that one away, to let you know that they are failing and they are holding on to the straw and to save them. I quoted a management official, and that person is Abu Miller. Abu Miller met me and he said that everybody can work. He has a formula. And the formula is that from the very base level of people who don't have any skill at all, they can still work. When they hear stones and grasses, because they always think about white collar jobs, then they get scared. Hey, this man is bringing something. What the Abu Miller said is that if you don't have any skill at all, don't sit in the house and fold your arms. If you are not educated, you haven't been to school, don't sit your hands and declare that you are unemployed. That's what Abu Miller said.
Okay.
And he said, for even at the base level, for those who don't have any work to do at all, and you are not sitting at home, go out there, gather stones. If you get one trip of stone in Accra here, do you know how much it costs? It costs so much. You will get some payment for it. If you are in a place where there are rare animals, and you can get the right kind of grasses that the white people call hay. In the UK and in the US and other places, it's big money to gather hay and then sell it at the right time to people who rear animals. It's big business. So I then quoted that business official and said that people who don't have jobs, who are not educated, who don't have any skill, can still work, just as an example. It also goes on to say that if you have the means and you have a place where they don't rent cars and you decide to go and rent a car there, you get a job to do. Because I didn't use big things like if you are in a place where there are no computers and you take computers there, you can sell. So this is the analogy. But what are we going to do? We are going to prop up small businesses in Ghana. We will provide training and capacity building for people who are already having the acumen to work. We have market women, people who go to market, who don't know what to do, who are out of business because of the failure of this government, the collapse of the microfinance institutions have also collapsed the people, their businesses. We will get them back to work. We will keep them training and equip them with skill, and we will give them capital to start working again. We will make sure we track every single person who we have gotten back into business to work. We will create opportunity.
It means that the 250,000 jobs that you're going to be creating every quarter will cut across every sectors.
Every sectors. It will cut across every sectors. Health sector, education, trade and commerce, and everything.
Would it be wrong for anybody to assume that this particular policy was taken from NAPCO?
No, this is different, very, very far different from NAPCO. NAPCO, you collect people together and pay them 700 Ghana cedis a month. And then you say they are working.
NAPCO employs people within the other sectors because they have teachers under NAPCO, they have health professionals under NAPCO.
NAPCO is the two are different. Ours is a private sector investment. to get people working on their own.
You said public and private sectors. So because it says that.
No. I'm not saying if it is.
You said you're going to create public and private sector jobs.
But that's it. You can't create a job and it is just only private sector. If there are opportunity, you see, remember, NAPCO is just like youth employment transformed into NAPCO. Is there different? The difference is the name. Everything they are doing there was done under youth employment. They call it a different name. Create the jobs, go and take money from consolidated fund, pay them, and then you transit them, if there's any, into other jobs.
NBC says that, NBC says that the most important part or portion of this particular creation of jobs, they said that, nota bene, NAPCO beneficiaries will be retained permanently and given decent wages. That's what the NDC is saying.
No, we are saying that.
No, that's what you said.
Yeah, we said
part
it.
Of the highlight,
I can explain it.
Yeah.
You see, we want to make sure that people are given permanent jobs, not the NAPCO type where the people are given the are only temporary engaged for 2 years. And we say that in the end, we would have seen that these are people we can retain, not leave to go.
Will it form part of the 1 million? Will it form part of the 1 million jobs that you're talking about? If you revise the modus operandi of
officials are not permanently employed.
No. So I'm saying that you said you are going to. You see, you use your choice of words are very strategic. You said that you are going to create 1 million permanent jobs.
Yes.
And then you come back to say that NAPCO beneficiaries will be retained permanently and given decent wages. And I'm saying that what you have stated here, will it form part of the 1 million jobs that you are promising Ghanaians? The fact that they are
if you give somebody a job, if you are working in NAPCO and you are unsettled, you are uncertain whether tomorrow you get a job or not. People are living worried, and you decide to take him out of NAPCO and say, look, you've gotten training enough, I'll give you a permanent job. And you give the person a permanent job. Okay. Is it not a permanent job?
So you're not going to collapse NAPCO, you're only going to make it better.
We are going to make sure NAPCO, when you are in NAPCO, you are transiting into a permanent job, not a temporary job.
Okay. You said they're going to provide free primary health care for all Ghanaians. And under this policy, any Ghanaian who visits any CHIP compound or health center or clinic or polyclinic or district hospital will be treated for free.
Yes. That's what we are going to do.
How are you going to fund it?
What we will...
We know that NHIS under your administration was in arrears.
No, it wasn't in arrears.
You were in arrears.
No, let me explain to you.
Okay.
You see, you have service providers who you pay within a quarter. If within a quarter we haven't paid them and we are in an election year and we exit, the other government has the responsibility to pay. And when they came, they didn't attend to them quickly. And so more arrears got compiled.
Okay, that has cleared my doubt.
Yes.
Okay. So it means that, so what kind of model is it going to take? What form is it going to take? Is it going to take the model of the NHIS kind of...
and you go to any district hospital, any CHIP compound for free. We will not request you.
We will not discriminate.
No.
Age, nothing. Everybody can go.
Everybody can go.
Okay.
And you will not be required to show your health insurance card. But when you go to a higher level, you'll be required to show your health insurance card.
I see what you mean. Now it's becoming clearer. Okay. Then you say you will absorb... Okay, wait. So it says, nota bene again, this policy will complement NHIS, which will apply to only secondary. So you've explained that. Yes. Fantastic. Absorb 50% of the school fees of all tertiary students for the 2020-2021 academic year.
Yeah.
What happens subsequently?
No, we are talking about the impact of COVID.
Okay.
It has impacted. Yeah.
Simple. That's it. Improve and continue the implementation of free SHS. And so you say abolish the double track system, expand the free SHS program to cover students in private senior high schools in underdeserved deprived areas, promote the use of IT, and provide free Wi-Fi in schools to enhance performance of students. Goes on and okay, well, it's just two left. Provide students and teachers with free tablets loaded with relevant content to facilitate teaching and learning. Address challenges with a computerized school selection and placement system. These are the things you're going to do in education.
Yeah.
Now, you know that we are deficient in terms of infrastructure, and which is why your government at the time decided to embark on infrastructural expansion project within the the senior high school level.
Yeah.
Now, if you come, you are going to be confronted with a larger number of students who, as a result of the current system that we are operating relative to the educational setup, right, will already be in school. How are you going to be ensuring that these things are done such that you will not leave anybody behind?
You know, we are masters of infrastructure. What we are saying is that as soon as we come, we will complete all the 200 secondary schools that they have abandoned. It will lessen the infrastructural deficit. And then we'll put everybody back in school without a track system.
Okay. I mean, because of time, I think we need to have one-on-one because of time. But finally, how are you going to fund all of this, knowing that about 60% of the revenue that we generate are used to service loans, the rest used to pay public sector workers and things like that, which means you're going to borrow more, which means you're still going to go to IMF.
I want everybody to hear what you are saying. That more than 60%, 67% of all the monies that we have gotten are going to service loans.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reason being that this government has been very reckless in borrowing.
But it's been perennial. It's not only limited to this particular administration. You borrowed as well.
But we didn't get up to that.
But the fact is you still borrowed. But the point is,
we are not talking about the question about borrowing. We are borrowing about the recklessness of it. The fact that you borrow to the point that you don't have any fiscal space anymore. That's what they have done.
Recklessness is subjective. The MPP described your borrowing as reckless.
This one is more reckless because this is actually reckless. What we did, you can show what we have done. If we say we are borrowing to do road, we go to Circle, you can see what we have done. You go to you know, a travel gas, you can see what we have done.
Rage, airport.
You can go Rage, airport. You see what we have done. What have they done?
What have they done?
You can see it.
So that means that you are telling me that when you come, because we are not able to in Ghana generate revenues, but we mobilize revenue, you are going to you are going to what? You are going to mobilize funds, you know, borrow and things like that to fund these projects.
We are going to revamp an economy that will be resilient and that will be productive. And it's key in our revenue generation capacity. There are three ways of doing revenue when you come to government. The first is to generate through taxes and through other sources within, domestically. The second is through grants. If you have bilateral relations with people, friends, then they can do it through grants. The third one is the borrowing, which is the loan that we take. We are going to have a combination of these efforts, but most importantly, internal domestic generation of resource is going to do a lot of magic in this country.
How are you going to internally generate revenues when you know that the revenue streams are generated from taxes, with payment of taxes? You have already intimated that when you come, you are going to reduce the communication service tax by 50%. So how are you going to be able to generate
ask yourself revenues? How much revenue is the communication service taxes bringing? They're
going to increase taxes the more.
No, I'm saying that
you already you introduced what was described by the NPP as nuisance taxes. You are going to take us back there?
No, but you are asking me, you are only telling me we are cutting down taxes, and you are saying we are taking you back there.
No, because you are telling me that you are going to focus more on internally generated funds.
But that's not mean, it doesn't mean increasing taxes. It means maybe you can even widen the tax net. You can make sure the leakages are closed. You can make sure you have more scientific way of collecting the taxes, and etc. etc. That definition will be sent to you. Will be made public for everybody.
No problem at all. But I think we have a little modicum of understanding relative to these subject matters. I think we need you one-on-one to further expand our understanding of the NDC's manifesto. I beg your pardon. Doc, let's hear from you. I mean, I don't have any question for you, so just make your point.
All right. Manifestos are central to multi-party democracy. But let us also be fair to the political actors. No manifesto in this country, no manifesto in this world is completely free from a content of deception. Right? Every manifesto contains an iota of deception. The levels differ. And that is why I agree with my elder brother that we need to do comparisons. For example, he used the word chief deception officer. The adjective chief chief here tells us that there is an officer, there is a deception officer.
Who's the chief?
But there's another chief deception officer.
So it means we have an IGP, and then we have the commissioner.
Exactly. So Ghanaians,
deception.
Yes. So Ghanaians, and this is the bitter truth. Ghanaians should know that both MPP and NDC have their own levels of mastery of deception, and their manifestos cannot be free from deception. We have to understand that.
Okay.
When the phrase copy, you understand that? I don't see it as such. If I want to write the NDC manifesto, I was so much happy. You know why? I was so much happy because I interpreted the whole thing as a matter of convergence instead of divergence. MPP talked about education. NDC is talking about education. At different level, in different language. Am I right? Free SHS, someone says free university education or tertiary education. That is good for all of us. So I don't see anything, I don't see anything wrong with that. And to me, it is not copy. It is rather convergence in the interest of the people. MPP talks about job creation. NDC says it will give us 1 million jobs. I think we should all be happy about that, right? But in both scenarios, you know, we shouldn't be fooled, and we should be very interested in interrogation of their claims. What will guide us is the feasibility of their claims. Clearly, MPP at a certain level fooled all of us into thinking that it had the capacity to solve all the problems of rice. 1 million, $1 million, one constituency. One dam, one constituency.
One village.
One village, one whatever. Free SHS.
Planting for food.
Planting for food, and to some extent, they have done their part. But what I can say about their success largely is the implementation of the free SHS, which has its own problems. But largely, they have succeeded. Where are the dams? Where are the factories? Where are the jobs? Right? These are all instances of deception. Today, NBC tells us that the country is not good because of the misgovernance of MPP. And some of us feel the pain. In fact, not everybody enjoys, you know that. It's only a clique that enjoys. So it is true. NDC continues to paint a very gloomy picture of the economic situation of this country. Now it turns around and tells us that even in the context of that gloomy economic picture, within 4 years, it is possible for the NDC to create 1 million jobs, to give us free tertiary education, to give us this or that. We should be smart. We should ask for the feasibility of this claim in the context of the gloomy economic picture it has painted. So I am saying that politicians should be fair to us. They have every right to promise, but their promises should be done within the context of rationality, within the context of feasibility.
Not to truncate your chain of thought, but would it be also bad to admit? Would it be false to admit that the NDC has ever been in power before?
Sure.
And so they can also understand the ropes better than any other person. They know how to generate revenue in order to be able to follow through, you know, and thoroughly with the promises that they are making. You know, would it be wrong for anybody to also assume that? Because you made a very succinct point by saying that a certain gloomy picture has been painted in respect of how badly the MPP
has damaged the economy. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
and so one would find it very difficult to admit that the NDC would be able to do all the things that
within 4 years.
4 years.
It's not possible.
But I'm saying that in that same vein,
yes,
would it be wrong for anybody to assume that because they have been in power before and they also have appreciated the economy to a certain level, they will now be able to revise their notes, come back, and then rescue the economy and be able to, on the basis of that, do all the things that they promised the good of Ghana?
I believe that they have the capacity to do it, but not within the period of 4 years. That's what I believe. So if you hadn't even stopped me, I would have made a point. I am appealing to the politicians to try as much as possible to rationalize the promises. We are not saying nothing is beyond human capacity if there is determination. But every productive thing is also done within a reasonable period of time. So I am saying that when they are promising us, they should make us understand that the promises cannot be done within the 4-year term. Today, MPP is asking for 4 more to complete its agenda, development agenda. Is that not that is the song? 4 more for Nana, 4 more for Nana. Why are they asking for 4 more? They are asking for 4 more because they have clearly demonstrated their failure in accomplishing all the manifesto claims. So all I am saying is that politicians should be fair to us. If not, I'm telling you, when NDC comes to power, it will manage expectations. Let Ghanaians understand that yes, you can, but you can do within a reasonable period of time.
Solid presentation. Let me read a few messages and then we wrap up. KOD, to suggest that the MPP manifesto is not a manifesto and the NDC has a good one is unacceptable. It's an insult and supposed to be a neutral journalist. From Francis Saboba, I predicated my point on something. I just want to be fair. And you investigated. Yes, and I did. I did. Let me be fair. Because you see, where is it? I had it. I would have. Sure. I'll show it to you. Yeah. You know, because it is a manifesto is supposed to be, if you will,
a promise list of things
you
want to do.
Yeah, like promises, the vision, the thinking of political parties,
development policy.
Yeah, it's a declaration. Let me use the right word. A manifesto is a declaration of the intention of political parties prior to the assumption of office and the Bible that they are going to use when they are in power. So it shows a roadmap. But if you tell me you are giving me a manifesto, which manifesto only tells us the promises that you made
earlier,
and how far you have executed those promises, without telling me what you are going to do in addition to that which you have done already, that is not a manifesto. No. That is only you accounting to me what you did with the power that I gave to you. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So that's why I said that. I mean, look, I should be the last person to hate any political party, because without them, the democracy that we are so enjoying would not have been,
with all that, let me just add something. And today I'm very much happy.
Yeah.
Very, very happy because we have received many messages from the NPP.
Yeah, I'm so happy too.
And that enhances the quality of the discourse.
Absolutely.
It makes it more balanced.
Absolutely.
It makes it more objective.
I love that, yeah. Please, Mr. Host, can you please find out from your guests when graduate university teachers who have passed their licensure exams will be posted? I'm not sure they are in any position to be able to respond to that. This one is by Mr. Johnny in Adenta. It says, good morning, Kwame. Let me tell that time, if NDC is given the nod, things will change in this country. Johnny from Adenta sent in this particular one. Good morning to you. KOD has been long. KOD, I want to ask whether we have a president who cares for the people of Upper West, Upper East region and Northern regions. Lives have been lost and people displaced, and they won't even comment. Simon sent this one in. Good morning to you, KOD. My question about the Japan is that, is there no government structure that can advise government on such transaction? Why should the government seek legal advice from a private institution? Greetings to my mentor, Kwesi Pratt. You say, Kwame, Nana came to Senate East could not boast of a single project done so far, but telling us we should give him 4 more to do more. I hear you. Dabani make solo. I don't know. Yeah, it's quite difficult reading that. This one says, good morning to you, KOD. MPP wants to divert the attention of the NDC manifesto to shadow their ridiculous Japan royalty stealing scandal. Akufo-Addo must go. Regards to ABF Hussein, you say, Osman from Tamale sent in this one. Mr. Derry says, please, can I suggest that you also air this program in Akan language? Like today, English, tomorrow, Akan. Many of the people in the north understand Chi. They are not comfortable with English, so they don't watch the program so much. Mr. Derry, I don't know which part of the north you're watching the program from. Dr. Rashid Purple, somebody has sent me your video, and the person says, very reckless. Watch the video. MPP government is able to implement NAPCO. You suggested this to graduates, and you still want to come back. Never again. Allah will not make you come back.
Let me state it again. Because they are dying, they are holding on to any straw. Nobody said graduates should work. They said none. People who are unemployed, they can get themselves employed.
All right.
Then they took it upon it and said, Rashid people say graduates should go and work. It will save you. Oh, you are fallen. You are dying. The party is fallen.
They are bleeding. The creation of the jobs, the solution to unemployment in this country also largely depends on the reconfiguration of our mentality.
Yeah.
What is wrong with what my elder brother has said? Look, elsewhere, farming is meant for men and women of caliber.
If you talk about
here,
EPP, they will cry.
Go to US and UK. It is the rich that can farm. Here, if you call yourself a farmer, you become a livestock stock. So let us also understand that we need to respect every profession or job. We should do away with that mentality of undermining certain jobs. It will not help us.
Good morning to you. Dr. Purple is right. None of the 7 SHS in West Central is associated to the MPP. They've done nada there. Good morning, Kwame. I am DJ Capitano from Site 17 Tema. Please, I want to know how much Ghana is getting from its mineral royalties before the Japan deal. Dr. Rashid Purple said $120 million.
Yeah, before the Japan deal, we are getting $120 million a year for our royalties.
All right. Good morning to you, Kwame. Ghanaians are tired and fed up with the MPP, and its governance for just the 3 years in power than the 8 years of the NDC when they were in power. Corruption in an Ado-led government, especially with the Sachim Sakawa boys for the past few years, is so pathetic. Ghanaians are simply tired. Spill from Kweu sent in this one. Please call this number after the program. Captain Sou, please. I beg you, please. Hey, Captain Sou. Let me write your number down. I will call you after the program. I've written it down. I'll call you. The messages are a lot. I'm sorry. This NDC man doesn't understand the issues. In their so-called Green Book, they stated that they have built a factory at Chumwusu and Achim Prankese, but it's full of lies, even to the extent that from KD. Good morning, my sister. Hey, your sister? Who's your sister? Look, the messages are a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Dr. Rashid Purple.
Yes.
1 second for closing remarks.
Well, NDC has presented a wonderful manifesto. It's going to save Ghana from this recklessness we are facing, the borrowing they are doing. That will have no consequences, positive consequences and positive impact on our lives.
Yep.
We are going to now commit Ghana to more development, better trajectory of development. Ghanaians are going to be better off. They'll be employed. The manifesto is the best you can find in fact, is one of the best we can find in Africa.
Yeah.
Because it's going to create an avenue for the government itself, for the Ghanaian citizen to respect, to gain himself respect, self-recognition, and to be able to work. We want to put Ghana to work. We want to now do the kind of infrastructure. The 10 billion push is going to do the kind of infrastructure, the big push. Is going to do the kind of infrastructure they have never seen in this country. Vote for the NDC and see the difference.
Do you know my problem with political parties in this country? To the extent that they think that Ghana is only Accra, Kumasi, and Takrady. Really X me.
We didn't.
So if you're going to do if you're going to do infrastructural push, at least emulate some other countries.
Please.
Where there's a deliberate attempt.
Give this advice
Hold on. If UGMS was in some way in Wa, are you telling me that people will not fly to Wa and go to the hospital?
There's no, we don't do medicine in Wa.
No, I'm saying.
Please, don't
No,
ask a question that will not give.
No,
because
we're talking about expanding the economy.
There's a university teaching hospital. It's meant for teaching. If you had said, okay,
so can't we take that to Wa, or can't we take that to? No, I'm not using Wa because of you. I'm looking at a situation where, because of infrastructure development, other places will also expand.
No, let me explain to you that we don't do that. We try to create equilibrium. We have sent a regional hospital to Wa. It's capable of even being a teaching hospital.
Okay.
We have sent a library, which is one of the best in West Africa. It's in Wa. We have done asphalts in Wa. People don't know this. We have done an investment that has brought water 25 kilometers from outside Wa into Wa. So we are not just doing the investment in Accra and Kumasi.
Okay, go and do the same thing. Go and do the same thing in my region, OT region. You should go and do that in Akabwem, where I'm from, so that the people there will also feel the development.
You now have a new region. You see, we have done investment. We did an airport in Ho. We did an airport in Ho.
Yes.
It's very huge investment.
Yes.
We have asphalted the whole roads, which is a huge investment.
Yes.
Several things. We have built a university in the Volta region.
I need this. I know you are not the president, and in the event that the MDC wins, I need a certain commitment that OT region plus all the newly created regions will benefit fully.
But we have just indicated that we will do
6 universities. And I've seen all of that.
We will do universities there. We will do hospitals there. We will do roads there. So what else do you want? So please don't create a problem where there's no problem.
Potable water.
You don't have a problem.
Okay.
You don't have a problem.
I'm making my proposition now. You know, my people in Nalerebu Gambaga, I know that the MP, you know, the incoming MP for Nalerebu Gambaga will do magic. You know, Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, he will do wonders. You know, I know he's coming to do wonders. But the thing is also that when you people, you win, you should do more, you know.
Yeah, you will do more. We have done it before,
even
so
as
you don't have to be afraid.
Alhaji Baba Seidu is doing more. Yes. So, yeah, finally. Yes. Finally.
In a pluralistic democratic society, all political parties have two main interests, the partisan interest and the national interest.
Yeah.
And these interests are reflected in their manifestos. It is the civic responsibility of the citizenry to interrogate the manifestos before they vote. And that can help them to vote wisely. But in the course of the interrogation, let them, I'm referring to the citizenry, be guided by the principle of feasibility. Okay. Let them, and I'm referring to all Ghanaians, be guided by the aphoristic words of Abraham Lincoln, and I quote, that you can fool some of the people some of the time, you can fool all the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time.
Good morning to you, Kwame, and your able panelists. I think investment in a trouble gas, investment to expand Tema Port, Tagba and Takrade, expand the port, Tema and Takrade, Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3 are raking in more revenue. But Nanado didn't invest in any revenue expansion, but reaping from where he didn't invest. NDC is far, far, far better in terms of infrastructure. My humble plea to the political parties is to find a way of consummating their ideas such that we would have one national development plan so that we can develop this nation. This manifesto, this person will bring their manifesto, this person, it's not helping anybody. We need a national development plan. We need a national development plan that will project into the future. That's all I'm asking for. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. So I've had in this studio wonderful panelists by all standards in the persons of Honorable Dr. Hassan Rashid Pelpu, MP for Wa Central, and you know, the man who is not going anywhere. And then our policy governance and political expert, Dr. Dr. Abubakar Mazouk, who is also a lecturer at the University of Applied Management. Thank you, sirs, for your time this morning. I really greatly appreciate your presence and your company. Also, let me say a big thank you to those who found the time to watch us today, I'm exceptionally and exceedingly appreciative of the fact that you always continually without fail watch the morning show. You are the reason why we wake up every morning to do what we do. You are the reason why we get here, and I'm sure that you are also very much informed this morning. We've tried our little best to give you all the information that will enable you advance your argument anywhere you want to. So thank you very, very much for sharing your time with me. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please have a very wonderful day. Make sure you protect yourself at all times. Corona is still around the corner. And make sure that you pray for Mother Ghana, for peace to prevail and the upcoming elections. Make sure that you vote wisely and vote for the person that you think can advance the cause of development in this nation. My name again is Kwame Owusu Danso. You can call me Champion KOD. I always respond, she. See you tomorrow.